Okay, number one, I may be speaking quietly, and I'm very sorry if you can't hear me. Turn your volume up. Number two, I'm not going to be looking at the group chat, so if you do say something, I probably won't see it. um, just a warning to anyone, um, because I'm trying not to get distracted. I was going to do this as like a real video, but then I realized I only have my phone with me right now, and it wouldn't upload probably, and I actually did try to make this video quite a few times. So yeah, if you want to listen to my exclamation on who my character Mask is, then continue watching if you don't mind me not looking at the chat at all. But I will say hi, hello, how are you all? But yeah, that's kind of it for all the communication I'll be doing for the chat. Number one, if you saw the thumbnail, you kind of get an idea on what my character Zachary Wright or um sorry or Mask, obviously. He I usually refer to him as Mask because it's just easier, and that's the first name I ever created for him. I didn't really give him a real defined name until later when I realized calling him Mask is hard. Because apparently, when I call him Mask, people get confused on, like, if I mean Masky, which I don't. Mask and Masky, well, they have to do with each other, like, I'll get to that, but they are part of each other. This is going to sound very weird to say, and I don't know why I'm explaining it so weirdly. Um, but yes. Also, if you want to watch this back later and you don't want to watch it now, it's fine. I'm probably gonna do another live stream some point in time. Just that is more relevant and more entertaining than this. I'm sorry, but I just want to explain to you who my character Zachary or Mask is, and why I love him so freaking much. The first thing is Zachary was actually one of the very first characters I've ever created. And sorry. Um basically, Zach was the very first character I made, even before Dare. Well, not really. Before I made Dare a set and canon character, Zach was there. And he didn't have a very defined form, but he had a very defined personality. And to sum it up quickly, he is the opposite of Tim, or Masky. And Marble Hornets Tim, which would mean Timothy Wright. He is the opposite of Timothy Wright from Marble Hornets. Just letting you all know. And I did not know at the time really that technically having a character that is the bad, like a main character that is a dark side or evil side of a canon character is a Mary Sue-ish thing, but I don't care. I really like Zach, and I've done too much to make his character better to just delete him and get rid of him. And I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. So, let me explain to you a bit who Mask is. First off, sorry. First off, Zachary Wright, or Mask. I'm going probably to either refer to him as Zach or Mask. If I switch between the two, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, but I do. Sorry. But Zach is a character who is a male, obviously. He is 5'6", which is also the same height of Timothy in Marble Hornets. He is very muscular, but not super tall. He's also little thinner than actual Tim or Masky is. That's no offense to Tim, obviously. I love him. I could hug him and hug him for days because he's amazing. And he is also a proxy of Zolgos. That is right, he is not a proxy of Slendermans. Oh no, no, no. The evil side of Masky obviously will go with Zolgo because that's how that works. Yeah. And, yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so he is a proxy of Zolgo and not Slenderman because, of course, obviously, he's the evil version of Masky, so he wouldn't be with Slender. I want to give you a quick run through, at least, of his story that I have set now. My friend is helping me work on it. Her, also known as Cosplay All Day, she is helping me work on the character and his story. But for now, he is Zachary Wright. And he first started to exist when Tim, or Masky, entered the mental hospital. If you don't know that Tim was in a mental hospital, watch Marble Hornets. It will make so much more sense to you. But through Marble Hornets, one of the illusions or voices or whatever the thing that he was hearing was Zach, along with Slenderman, obviously, but was Zach. And Zach was the very first one to ever show up. And Zach, actually, was not just a voice. He was actually a shadow demon. And this is a very specific type of demon that I have created. I have created a lot of random types of demons for the point of my series on my channel called The Two That Are Three, which I would really like for you to all check out. I really am very proud of this stuff that I've been able to do so far on The Two That Are Three and the story I have set in place so far in The Two That Are Three. And yeah. Yes. So basically, he was a shadow demon who got into Tim's head. And he was basically like his guardian or whatever. And this demon was very, very young. And when I mean very, very young, I mean only a few months old. So, very, very young. And he took the form of Tim. But he looked almost like what Tim wanted himself to look like. Thin, darker hair, freckles, etc. I don't know. But that's kind of the image that Zachary was placed into. And that is now his official design and how he actually looks. So, thank you for that. And as he goes through the mental hospital, Zach and him start to connect more, and Zach gives Tim advice and helps him and just make sure he is okay. Once Marble Hornet starts coming around, that's when things get a little more violent. Now, don't get this confused. Zachary, or Mask, is not Masky, and Tim is not Masky either. Masky is a completely separate entity. Masky is a version of Tim created by Slenderman, while Zachary, or Mask, is a completely different entity that literally lived on its own and needed a host to have a body. So, as soon as Masky came along, Zach was shoved to the very back of Tim's mind, and Tim barely heard from Zach. Along with the pills that Tim had to take to keep Slender, out of his head and keep Masky locked away, it also restrained Zach, which sucked for him, because then Zach couldn't do anything, he couldn't talk to him, and he started to slowly grow more and more dark. And it's because of this that Zach resents Tim, basically for shutting him out and keeping him locked away in the very back of his own head. And it's a very scary thought, actually, to be locked in the back of someone's head. I may not seem like it, but if you really, really think about it, yeah, it would really suck to be stuck in the back of someone's head, and honestly, quite terrifying. I'm gonna be very honest. um, so after the events of Marble Hornets and Tim was alone, and Tim went off to go with Slender, obviously, at least in my 2-3 world where Mask exists. Um, Slender realized that there was something in Tim that needed to be taken out for Tim to come with Slender. And Tim had completely forgotten about Zack at this point, which is not good for Zack. So once Zack is stripped out of Tim's body, he is given his own, which is a very new feeling. So now he has a human body. Well, partly human, he's still demon, but shh. Um, he is given his own body, which is very new to him, and he's never had his own body before, which is very odd to him. So he's a little freaked out, obviously. I would be too, if it was the very first time I've been given a body. And Slender takes Tim and leaves. And Tim leaves Zack behind, alone in the cold. And Zack basically just wanders, just looking for Tim and hoping to find him again and wanting to be back in his head where he knew he was safe. Tim may have not even remembered him or knew he was there, but he knew he was safe in Tim's head. But having this brand new, vulnerable feeling was terrifying to him, and him being completely alone was also very terrifying, and he did not enjoy it one bit. A little while as a day goes by, he runs into Zolgo. Not gonna give a super in-depth thing. I'm not gonna give a super in-depth reasoning for why or how they met or whatever. But basically, Mask runs into Zolgo. And Zolgo's like, "Oh, you're Masky, but like cooler and better." Hold on. I know. Hell. I'm so sorry about that. But basically, yes, Zack goes with Slender, and Slender basically used Zack. He used Zack as a spy for Tim, because they still have a link. They may not be, like, actually connected, like Mask may not be in Tim's head, but they do still have a link, and Mask is able to know where Tim is at every part of the day, which is a terrifying thought, but that's okay, because the link will soon be broken. um, but anyway, yeah, but that's not the only thing Zack was used for, sadly. Zack was tortured to become the perfect proxy for Zolgo, because Zolgo didn't see him as perfect. He saw him as weak and vulnerable and not the best proxy for him. So he whipped him into shape quickly by torturing the living hell out of him. So, yeah, lovely. Also, if you do not know, I'm never going to mention this probably in the 2-3 at all, but in his canon story, Sogo does also use Zachary for sexual reasons as well, which Zack, of course, does not consent. Who would consent with a demon? I don't know. Not Zack. But, yeah, there's no consent there, and Zolgo does do things to Zack that has completely changed him and his character for forever, and he very much dislikes what Zolgo is doing to him. But yes, Zack is Zolgo's proxy, and Zolgo does torture him, sexually assaults him, and just changes him as a character and as a demon, and completely strips him of what he was before and made him into his own perfect image of what a proxy of his should be. and it's kind of unsettling, I guess. I've never really had a character that was so tortured and so hurt and so just broken. But don't worry, it'll all be fixed, because guess who he finds? I'm not going to reveal any more. You'll just have to watch the 2 to figure out what happens when Mask actually does come into the show. But yeah, I just wanted to explain to you who Zach is and why I love him as a character, and I really do feel as if you guys will really start to like him too. Yeah. Also, guess what? You guys all remember Alex, right? You know, my friend, I love her. Alex is my very, very good friend. She started posting on her channel again, so I, of course, will leave a link to her channel down in the description. I would really appreciate it if you guys go support her, give her a sub, give her some likes, give her some very positive comments. There are actually a few videos on her channel that I am in if you would like to check those out, and yeah. I will see all of you in my next video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was kind of boring, I guess, but I just wanted to explain who Zach was and get the idea out of your guys' head that he is Tim. He is not Tim, he's not Masky, he's Zach. And also in the... Oh, Jesus. And also in the... Ask OC series, Mask is this character, so yeah, if you would like to ask Mask any questions in the comments, I will have him answer those for you. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I will see you guys in my next video, and Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you all have a great another year on this earth, and many, many more for you to come, I hope. And yeah, I will see you all later. Bye.